What's going on, all you Jedis and Sith Lords out there? Phat Samurai Guy is here with
Lady Phatblood.
Phatblood. That's right, Phatblood. And we just got out of the theater of seeing Star Wars.
Rise of Skywalker.
Rise of the Skywalker. I thought you were going to come up with something funny. I was waiting on.
Rise of the Retcon?
There you go. Rise of the Retcon.
Okay.
Now, this is going to be a spoiler-filled review.
Extravaganza.
Don't
watch it if you want.
I will at least tell you guys this, and then when you guys go to the movies, you'll have your own opinion of what you thought of it, and let us know in the comments below what you guys thought of the film. But we'll at least tell you this: it is, in our opinion, better than The Last Jedi. Does that make it a great movie? We're gonna get into that.
Well, let's put it this way. In
my opinion, I liked it more than The Last Jedi.
Let's put it this way: if you hated The Last Jedi, you might like this.
It's possible.
If you loved The Last Jedi, I don't know. Like, I know one person in particular who really, really liked The Last Jedi, and he loved this movie.
Oh, wow.
But if you're a die-hard fan of what Rian Johnson did in The Last Jedi, and you wanted it to go more that way, I don't know if you'll like the backpedaling that this movie did. So it... Maybe not. It might depend on what side of the fence you're on. So,
but we'll just leave you with that. And, go see the movie, come back, let us know in the comments below what you guys thought about it. But we're gonna get into spoilers right now. So
freestyle.
So before we get started, back when we saw the first trailer, we did our trailer reaction video. Check it out if you guys want to see us knuckleheads, or me, mostly me, because I'm a fan of the glowy sticks. I like the glowy sticks. You know what I'm saying? And I kind of lost it when I heard Palpatine laugh and all that. At the time, I was really excited. At the time, and then reality set in, and I kept hearing shit and hearing shit. You were hearing shit. You were telling me rumors that you heard, and then my ridiculously high expectations kind of fell downward to the point where we went into this movie kind of expecting a dumpster fire. Well, it wasn't just the rumors. There were legitimate... Yes. There were the legitimate reality of the situation was that there were more reshoots than normal at the 11th hour of this film. Yes. Now, reshoots, everybody knows that reshoots for films are completely normal. But this close to the end of the line... it was not looking good for the movie. And then the rumor started circulating that test audiences were getting angry. Audiences were walking out. They were getting up and leaving the theater. This is what we've been hearing. The validity of that, it's a 50-50 shot that was completely possible. You don't know who the audiences were. You don't know what they saw. You don't know what the state of the film was in. So it's possible that was legit. That was a legitimate thing that happened. But when you start hearing all these reshoots at the last minute, then it's best to kind of just to be on the safe side, which is what we did. Now, going into the theater with this mindset, what did you think about the movie? Despite liking it more than The Last Jedi, what did you think about it? Is it still marinating? I think it's still marinating up here. Okay, rewatching The Last Jedi. There were things that I liked about The Last Jedi. There was some good in there, but there was way more shit I didn't like. I think the opposite is here. Yes. But this movie was a mess to me. This movie, to its credit, it skipped along very quickly. So you don't get that, like, a lot of people will argue that Rogue One took a really long time with the setup, and it could be very boring in some areas. This movie, you can't breathe.
This movie will not give you a minute's rest to even like take a breather. You can't go to the bathroom in this movie. You will miss anything. You blink and you're just gonna be like, what? Wait, what scene transition?
Yeah. I mean, I'm not bashing the movie, but I'm this hard. But I'm using this as an example. I was kind of getting Hellboy flashbacks.
Oh.
And what I mean by is,
right, get to it.
Like everything is just boom, 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 boom. Right. It's like, dude, movie, slow down for a second. But see, while I was kind of struggling with that throughout the film, half of me was trying to, analyze it and be like, well, we don't know what really was the cause of why the movie's edited like this, or why the scenes are thrown together like this. We don't really know. Should I forgive it? Should I forgive the movie a little bit because of the last-minute reshoots? What was taken out? We don't know.
What was the original intent?
What was the original? Yeah. We don't know.
Yeah.
So I'm watching this like, man, this is like scene to scene to scene to scene to scene. We just had an action sequence. Now we got another one. Okay, we're going over here. Going over there. Let's grab the MacGuffin. Yeah. But the MacGuffin will lead us to the other MacGuffin of the guy who took the ship there first, but to get the thing, and then we got action sequence. Okay, we're done with that. Oh, wait. Rey's healing a snake. An alien snake. We took time out of the movie for 15 minutes of snake healing. Right? And then after that...
Yeah.
Okay, so it was just like, somebody took some fucking Viagra. And they do a lot of fucking.
Viagra and speed.
It's Viagra and speed. And they edited this movie. Now, obviously, this movie's way better than Hellboy, okay? Nah. But I'm just saying, scenes thrown together, you can kind of follow what's going on.
Yeah.
It's not like we were lost.
No, it wasn't like that. And it wasn't like...
But it was just like...
And it wasn't like Hellboy expositioned up after exposition.
Right.
That was Hellboy's greatest sin.
Yeah.
Aside from the scene.
Fuck that movie.
Yeah, that was exposition like loaf.
Yeah.
This wasn't like that. This
I'm just talking about...
This was scene dumpage after
scene. Dumpage.
Just all together.
And some scenes I liked.
Yeah.
Some scenes I was just like, okay, they're filler. Let's see where it goes. Some comedy I liked. Some comedy fell really flat. I don't know if I was the only one in the theater, but as soon as Rey met Poe, as soon as he got off the ship, that whole sequence, I was sitting in the theater like...
Where? Okay, I want to know...
Is this supposed to be funny?
Why?
What is this awkward chemistry?
I want to know why they went that route, because that setup, to me, was your cliched, oh, they like each other.
Right.
Type of banter.
Right.
Nope.
No.
That went nowhere. Literally, that went nowhere. And keep in mind, these two had just met at the end of Last Jedi.
Right.
Like, they had just gotten to know each other.
We don't know how much time has passed.
And that's fine. But why did we have this weird dialogue that went absolutely nowhere by the end of the film?
It was just awkward. But there was awkward dead air comedy. At points.
A bit.
But then there was some legitimate funny moments. I laughed at some moments. But
I don't know how I feel about Hux.
Okay. No, at first, we're gonna... Fucking spoilers, we're all over the place. We're not going in order. We're not going in order.
No stream of consciousness here.
At first, I was like, all right. Hux is back to being serious. Hux.
Yeah.
He's not... For the Republic! I'm overacting! He wasn't doing any of that, right?
Yeah.
He was like serious Hux, right? I was like, okay, all right, we going back to the basics.
Yeah.
We getting serious now. There's no your mama jokes.
Yeah.
From Poe to Hux. Huxley, Hux, what the fuck?
Hux, yeah.
Yeah. And I don't know why I call him Huxley. And I was like, all right. And then at the end of the movie, the third act.
It wasn't.
Before the third act, whatever.
In the end.
Whatever. Later in the movie, I'm the spy.
Yeah. And as soon as you
and I was like, I was like, oh, is this comedy
and
again?
They had been setting this up this whole movie.
I had to laugh at it. I was like, oh my god.
That the First Order had this spy.
Yeah,
that the rebels were. That the rebellion had this spy in the First Order this whole time. And it's like, oh, who's the spy? Who's the spy? And in the meantime, you got this other upstart, and for some reason I can't remember his name. I can't remember his name. The
guy from Warlock?
Yes.
Yeah.
So he's been in the background this whole time, and you find out that
guy's cool. I like that actor.
He allegedly
Warlock represent.
He allegedly has been serving the Emperor from the beginning. You find out that he served him in the old school days,
right?
And so he's there, and Hux, as soon as he reveals that he was the spy. And the only reason he does it is because Kylo
I don't care if you win.
He embarrassed him back in the day.
I don't care if you win. I just want to defeat Kylo.
And that's the only reason he did it.
Yeah.
And as soon as you find out...
We gotta write something for Hux.
As soon as you find out that he's the spy, the very next scene, he's shot dead.
He's dead. It's like...
So that was pointless. That whole turnabout was pointless.
Oh shit! We gotta end it.
It is official.
We gotta end the trilogy.
It is official. Rose Tico is the Jar Jar Binks of this franchise. She was the key to all of this in The Last Jedi. And she's been relegated to a background character as she should have been.
Yes.
So
yes. I noticed that towards the end when everyone's celebrating, you get that one shot. Where Finn looks a slow turn, and then they show Rose, and I'm like, don't move, no, don't do they both turn and run at each other and embrace, no.
They kept this whole thing.
Thank you, movie, thank you for that.
They kept this whole thing up hinting that Finn wanted to tell Rey something. Never did.
I want that sweet English muffin, you know what I'm saying?
Never did. Never told her anything. So that went nowhere. You had this...
Finn! Before you hold that thought.
Yeah.
One of the positives of the film, for me, was Finn. Because...
Even though he was still chasing after Rey this whole fucking movie? That was your biggest problem with him from the day one.
Yes, that was I like their relationship, and, that was first, thrown out there in the Force Awakens. But he was there for that booty. Come on. He was there for the English muffin. Okay? And The Last Jedi, it was nice to see, he still cares about Rey. They still have that friendship. But it was nice for him to have that moment. You know what? Fuck this. I'm going to go sacrifice my life and save the fucking rebellion, whatever's left, all 12 people. Yeah. All 12 of them.
Yeah.
And then Rose had to fuck it all up.
Yeah. And
ruin Finn's arc. And this one... Yeah, he's back to whining, and he's concerned about Rey. But at this point, it's time to end it. So, fine, they just friends. They embrace. That's fine. I've accepted it. But at least in this movie, they gave Finn something to do, and he's still in this one almost sacrificed himself again in this one. And I was like, yay, movie, yay.
Yeah.
And you can tell John Boyega's acting. He just, oh shit, I got something to do in this version. I got something to do in this movie. I can be like myself. Because if you look at Finn in this movie, you look at Finn in The Last Jedi, he's lost. Finn is lost. That character is just wandering around. Where's Rey? Where's Rey? You seen Rey? Oh, hi, Rose. You know where Rey is? Oh, let's go to fucking Canto Bright, whatever fucking casino scene, and let's waste 30 minutes of the movie, save fucking animals, but we didn't save the kids. We didn't save the slave children, but we're gonna save the fucking CGI prequel animals of the track. The fuck. That was Finn's arc in The Last Jedi. So it was nice to see him be himself and give him something to do. So this just huge pros in this. What do you think of Poe in this? I have an issue, and you can jump on that too. I thought Poe was a fun character in the first movie. He was this wisecracking hotshot. He was a badass fucking pilot. He didn't need to be saying yo mama jokes in the next movie.
Yeah.
And we kind of defended Poe because he was getting fucked over by the agenda in terms of plot in The Last Jedi.
Yeah.
So now he's second in command. If something happens to General Leia, he's been put in command. So I'm like, okay, he has doubts. This is fine. I'm okay with that, right? No one wants to be thrown into commanding an army against the fucking Empire, whatever the fuck. Right? So I'm okay with this. Where the movie was kind of annoying me a little bit was I'm like, okay, he's the best, most hot-shotted pilot. He's the best pilot in all the galaxy, but he needs Rey to fly the Millennium Falcon. Apparently he's useless. What happened to being the best pilot in the galaxy? I guess he doesn't have Rey powers. I guess she uses the Force to fly the fucking thing. Whatever. So that was annoying. Yeah. Chewbacca's like, you should have got right. And then he didn't get no credit for the time jumping.
Yeah.
He did the fucking time jump shit.
The light speed jump.
The light speed jumping. He didn't get any credit for that. And I was a little, like I said, I'm being picky now. Little annoyances. This is little annoyances for me. This is my personal thing. You guys been perfectly fine with Poe. But then, he you know, when Leia dies, which we'll get to later, okay, he has the moment with her. He's like, you know, why did you choose me? I don't know what to do. And then he gets the motivation to give the speech and lead the army against ridiculous odds. And then when shit goes bad, I'm sorry, y'all. We done fucked up. Everyone's dying. Was it fucking the king from Return of the King? Save yourselves!
Flee for your lives!
Flee for your lives!
No, that wasn't.
I was like, dude, you're fucking with Poe.
That wasn't.
Stop
really...
fucking with Poe's character. I'm really trying to like Poe.
That wasn't really.
I'm trying to like Poe. But you're fucking it up. Sorry, spit flying everywhere. You're fucking it up by just have him, you know, go down fighting, right?
Yeah.
Be like, all right, fuck it. Okay, this was a bad idea. Everyone's dying. It's my fault. Hey, everybody, fight. Just keep fighting until we all die. I don't know. Don't be like, I'm sorry. Okay? Anyway, so I'm like, this guy's supposed to be the fucking leader. At this point, fuck Poe. Let's follow fucking Rey Skywalker at this point. Finn was making better decisions than fucking Poe. What happened? Anyway, my Poe rant. I wanted to like Poe more. But anyway, this is my rant.
Yeah.
Okay, what were you going to say before I fucked it all up?
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
All right, let's talk about the visuals. Excellent. Excellent. I think the visuals were really good.
Yeah.
Was it just me? I mean, despite the bad young Princess Leia CGI face, which we're going to get to, was it just me? Or did Abrams kind of put a dark kind of tint over this movie? Because you compare how this movie looks, because obviously this is supposed to be the darkest of the trilogy, and he wanted to make it dark. You think he kind of put some kind of dark tint over it? Because look at that movie and look at how bright and colorful Force Awakens was. Well, even Last Jedi to an extent.
Well,
you think he kind of just did that on purpose?
It's possible.
To make it look really dark?
It's possible. I think like stylistically, like anything that had anything to do with like were they Star Destroyers? Was that what those were? Like the Emperor's entire fleet?
Yeah.
Is that what those are?
And why weren't they attacking?
They were gathering everything together, and they had their when they finally got to the planet at the end, it was something like the rebels were attacking that one thing. The one thing, the MacGuffin thing.
Right.
Not MacGuffin thing. Where the Emperor
they were trying
was,
to... Right.
Because that was what was going to, like... That was, like, their communication tower to make all the ships, like...
There were no people in those ships?
Well, there were, but it was
Why couldn't you just give the fucking order, hey, we got some fucking bullshit Navy... Well, not even Navy, we got some... Some, what do you call it? Some, like, Navy, you know, like, Navy, like, Navy, 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 Nav wannabe rebels showing up.
They were going after the communications tower.
Yeah, and they turned it off though. But
they got it back online, and that's why you saw those other flyers come in, the TIE fighters.
Right.
And that was what I think that's what Finn was doing.
Okay.
They were trying to knock it out, but then it was like they got it back online, but there was a lot of back and forth going on. There was a lot of that shit going.
All right.
Well,
fair enough.
That was part of it.
I thought special effects were good. The score, what do you think? I thought it was serviceable.
It was good.
A lot of recycled themes.
There was
but the classic themes. What are you gonna do, right?
There was.
Gotta have those in the movie.
There was some musical cue. There was one musical cue in particular. I didn't know why they placed it where they placed it. It was when Luke was pulling the X-wing out of the ocean, and they used Yoda's theme, and I was like, are you doing that because Yoda did that in Empire?
That's what I was assuming.
And it's like, but why? That's Yoda's theme. It's like, why are you going to use Yoda's theme just because Luke Skywalker's pulling the thing out of the ocean?
Throwback?
But it's like, that's Yoda's theme. It doesn't match. Well, it's the same thing as when...
They were throwing themes all over the place.
But it's like, that's the problem, though. You use music... The Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit were guilty of the same thing. They used music where it should not have been used. And that's the problem. When you have a theme that's associated with a character, you can't just throw it someplace else. It was like using Duel of the Fates in Attack of the Clones when Anakin was going to kill the Sand People.
Yeah, that didn't make any sense.
It's jarring. It doesn't make sense when it's attached to one thing. But yeah, I mean, the music was fine.
Yeah, it was serviceable.
Unfortunately, John Williams is at his best when visually and story-wise he has more to work with. Yeah. So
now, action movie junkies, if you were let down, just samurai over here. You know what I'm saying? We know action. Okay, all right. If you were disappointed with The Last Jedi in terms of fight combat and action and fight choreography, it's a lot better in this, and there's a lot more of it. Popcorn movie munchers, moviegoers out there, if that made any sense.
Movie munchers.
Yes, movie munchers. Yeah. You know what? You're having a bad day. You want to go out, see a movie with a lot of explosions, a lot of really good special effects, some characters you can kind of latch onto, and you got your villains, right? It's not too complicated of a story, kind of. I think you guys will have a good time. If you just want to go see a popcorn movie, bam, there's the money. Get the popcorn, blah, 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 blah. Get the beer, blah, 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 if the theater allows beer, which all theaters should. And I think you'll be entertained by the film, okay? So that's not a bash. I'm just saying, I just want to throw that out there because we only got really one lightsaber battle in The Last Jedi. And even though I said that was the best fight in the movie, I was still grasping at straws for something positive to say. But if you go back and really in detail watch the fight choreography of The Last Jedi, there's some problems. There's a lot of people just waiting around, people missing cues. It was slow at some points. But me, at first, I'm like, glowy sticks fighting, right? But in this one, especially, I really like the fight where Kylo fights the Knights of Ren. I really like that. All right, you guys will like the fight choreography in that.
I am having a crisis of faith with Kylo Ren.
Okay.
I'll get to that.
Him turning good is not a big surprise though, because we kind of assume.
No, I'll get to it.
Okay, all right. Yeah. So, do you want to talk a little bit briefly about the plot? Just a little bit before we get to our likes and dislikes of the movie. So, action you will like, special effects you will like. There's some comedy there. There's some comedy there, all right? You got good guys to root for.
If you had any
You got bad guys to boo.
If you had any problems with any messages that were being forced to you...
The agenda from the last movie.
From The Last Jedi, none of that's in here.
Yes. Huge pluses.
None of that's...
Huge pluses.
None of it's here.
Now, I'll just keep talking. You jump in whenever you want, okay? Unless you got something on your mind right now. Okay. So, with me, okay? So, really quick, briefly. Palpatine is back. sends a message out there. You guys are all fucked. You're all my bitches. I'm gonna fuck all you guys up, okay? That's the message. That's the exact message. You are all fucked up. You are all my bitches. That would have been the greatest movie ever made. So he's been, you know, behind it all. Okay? We got Snoke clones. He even mentions
he created
Snoke. He was Snoke in a way.
He's been in Kylo's head this whole time,
yes.
Fucking with him.
And I'm okay with all this because what are we doing here? We're wrapping up. We gotta end it.
I know.
We gotta end it. So I'm grasping at straws here.
Yeah.
I'd rather have some bullshit bootleg but good enough explanation to things than nothing.
Yeah, but
okay.
Go ahead.
But
this was one of the rumors that made it to the internet a while back, was that Palpatine was going to be in the film.
Yes.
Okay, this one was accurate.
Yes.
What does that mean?
Right.
That means,
shut up, phone.
That means that Palpatine survived what happened to him and at the end of Return of the Jedi.
Right.
So what does that mean? Vader's sacrifice meant jack shit! You know that emotionally powerful ending that got butt-fucked by George Lucas in his special edition? It meant nothing. You know that powerful ending where you see the Force Ghost, the real fucking ending with Yub Yub and the Ewoks and all that, when you see the real old man that played real old man Darth Vader and not the bullshit old young kid that played Darth Vader in the prequels? Yeah, that whole thing, that all meant nothing because his sacrifice meant nothing because somehow the Emperor survived all of that, and then instead of it meaning anything, the sacrifice meant absolutely nothing. He somehow survived the fall, survived all the lightning that got fed back to him, and he decided to chill out somewhere, attached himself to all these tubes. We don't know how he survived. All we see
Shut up, phone.
All we see is that he's attached to all these tubes in this giant machine. He's like...
anime style.
He reminded me of Megatron, what they did with Megatron in Beast Machines. That's a reference to like 5 of y'all out there. But yeah, Beast Machines, Megatron. But that's... But yeah, everything that happened in the Return of the Jedi at the very end, it means nothing.
Now, it could have been worse though. Because the original rumor we heard was that it wasn't even fucking Palpatine that was at the end of the Return of the Jedi that got killed. It was like one of his clones. Yeah. It was that whole awesome, amazing finale at the end of Return of the Jedi, I think, despite the fucking Ewoks.
Yeah.
The rumor was if Palpatine shows up in this one, it wasn't even the real Palpatine sitting there going, do it, strike me down with all your hatred. That wasn't even him. It was somebody else. That is worse to me. That is worse.
That may have been a book thing.
But
it may have been a book thing that they actually.
Well, we're talking about the movieverse right now.
But yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But in this one, he at least admits that he did die, and in a way, I guess if we're grasping at straws again, it wasn't a waste because Vader still made the decision to turn and be a good Vader. I'm trying, y'all. I'm trying over here. I think I would have had more of a problem with that if it wasn't Palpatine and it was Nathan Palpatine. Palpatine. I think I would have more. And he did admit he died. How he's alive now, I don't know. But I did die once, but I'm back. We don't know why, but we don't have time because it's the last movie.
Johnson fucked up.
Fuck you, Ryan Johnson. You know what's funny? You know what's funny is everyone's pointing fingers at each other.
Yeah.
Because people that defend Ryan Johnson, they say, well, J.J. Abrams just introduced Force Awakens, and he had all these mystery fucking boxes, and he had no plans or script written at all for anything for the next movie. So Ryan Johnson had to create shit out of nowhere, and he had nothing to go off of. So fuck Abrams and yay for Ryan Johnson, right? That's what the Ryan Johnson defenders are saying, right? But now you have the Abrams defenders saying that there was a script written, right? But Ryan Johnson said, no, fuck it, I'm gonna do what I want. And now Abrams is going, well, fuck, now I'm thrown back in this third movie trying to clean up the scraps here, you know? So,
yeah.
Who knows who's right and who's wrong? The important thing is, did you enjoy the movie, or do you think it's shit?
Yeah.
It's your opinion that matters.
Okay, so let's talk about Leia. Now, obviously, Carrie Fisher died before The Last Jedi was released, and this was going to be a problem because her character did not die in The Last Jedi.
Right.
Now, my understanding is that they had some extra footage left over from The Last Jedi, and their intent was to utilize it.
Oh shit! Is that Sexy Sumo? Sexy Sumo!
Wow.
Yeah! That's hilarious. That was not planned. You know what? Yeah, they're moving because we saw the movie. We saw the movie today at 12:15.
Yeah,
and they're getting ready to see the afternoon. Wow.
Oh my!
That is fucking hilarious.
Wow.
Okay. Anyway.
Wow. Okay. So.
Go ahead.
Okay. So my understanding was that they were going to write everything in such a way that they were going to utilize her unused footage and try to incorporate it into the film as best that they could, but they were still only going to have so much footage. So I was expecting, whether they originally intended to kill off her character in this film or not, I was expecting they were going to have to, because they only had that much footage left over than they could use. And they didn't want to CGI her in this entire film.
That would have been bad.
Yeah, they didn't want to do it, and you know, they did very, very, very little CGI in this movie. You could tell they did a little bit,
right,
but it was very little, and they utilized stand-ins for a couple of scenes. You can see that they did that too.
And some overdubs.
Yes. Did it work? Yes and no, and all things considered,
I was fine with it.
All things considered, they really couldn't have done much more.
No.
Her death, it was fine. It was very, like the rest of the film, like it was very like, okay, somehow she just knew what she had to do. But the Force was very, very strongly utilized in this film. I think much more than we've ever seen it before. If you've been keeping up with The Mandalorian, they just
Great show.
Just recently introduced this Force healing abilities.
Yeah. Baby Yoda.
Which they just utilized in this film for the first time now. Before anybody starts screaming, Mary Sue character powers, no, Rey has been seen with the texts of the Jedi Temple. Yeah. She has the book. She saved them from burning.
She's been trained by Leia, at least. Thank God. Thank God.
Yeah, we actually see her trained in this film. But she has all the books that Luke was trying to keep safe all this time. So she's been reading up on all this stuff, so it's perfectly rational that she would know how to do all this stuff now. So that's how she knows. And obviously Kylo, he would know how to do it because he's been trained in various ways. So we know about this now. Everybody's more connected than ever before with the Force. Even Finn has been talking about how he's felt drawn to Rey through the Force. He knows it's real.
And people talked about that in the first movie, when you have that one shot at the beginning of Force Awakens when they all attack that village and Max von Sydow gets killed and all that, and Poe gets captured, and you see Finn not fire on the natives, right? What happens? Kylo walks up to the ship,
he looks
stops, and looks at Finn, and everyone was like, why did he do that?
Yeah, and we never...
And people thought maybe Finn might be Force sensitive.
Yeah, and you never got
especially with his fight at the end with Kylo in the forest. I mean, he got his ass kicked, you know, but he kind of held on for his own for a while. So, and
I'm glad that they made a callback to that, because
interesting. There's
nothing wrong with regular schmoes being connected to the Force.
No.
Yoda in the Empire and in Empire Strikes Back never once said it's exclusive to Jedis.
Right.
It's everywhere. It's in everybody. It's in the rocks. It's in the trees. I
got a feeling.
It's everything. It connects us. It binds us. It penetrates. It's everything and everybody and everything.
Preach it.
So it's in everybody. It's just it's more sensitive in others, and more people are. Some people are able to harness it better, and more people are just able to use it. But it doesn't mean that it's not in everybody. So some people being able to feel it more. I have nothing wrong with them, actually. I actually like that they have other people being able to feel things more and being more connected to it. I really like that element of it.
It would have been nice if Poe had some of that.
Anyway, so there's this really interesting scene. All the Rey and the Kylo stuff was back. That was the one thing that I loved the most about The Last Jedi.
And they bumped it up.
They did.
They're actually
physically able to hand things off to each other.
Mentally fighting each other, but kind of getting close to touching too.
They set something. They set something up early on in the film where Rey is given this necklace that she's on this planet, and Kylo calls to her, and they're having this conversation, and they have this new element where the scenes keep shifting back and forth. Kylo will be
very well done.
Kylo will be in one location. Sorry. Kylo will be in one location. There you go. He'll be in one location, Rey will be in another location, and they'll both keep switching back and forth.
Yeah,
the camera cool. and them will both.
I like that.
But neither of them really know where each other are necessarily.
It's pretty cool.
And physically, Kylo at one point grabs this necklace that Rey has been given, and you set it up really early that, oh shit, they can pass each other stuff physically. Which I like that because there's a really great payoff later on in the movie.
Which we're going to get to.
So there's this fight later on. That's that fight you see in the trailer spots where.
So before we get to that, just jump on after what I'm about to say. So hold that thought. Okay. So basically, we have this Sith MacGuffin, right? Kylo has the Sith.
Oh, there are two MacGuffins.
Oh yeah, the two. You got the dagger and you got the Sith, right?
The Wayfinder.
Right. So he uses that to find Palpatine. He goes there to kill Palpatine. Palpatine goes, "Now you're my bitch." So he becomes his bitch, right? Our ragtag muffins, Poe and Chewbacca and everybody get together. And they go do their thing. You know, professional review we got going here.
This is a discussion. This is no
discussion. Yeah, spoiler review in a way. So they go do their thing, and then that's where our good guys and bad guys cross paths. And then we have our finale. That's basically the film. All right. So, was I enjoying the movie up to the point where before the fight, the big climactic duel?
Well, I wasn't talking about the end. I was talking about where Leia dies.
I'm getting to that.
Okay.
But before Leia dies is the fight.
Okay.
So up to the fight, I was entertained by the popcorn movie that I was watching. Okay. Everything was, and I was kind of getting to me, right? And that was, but I wasn't, I wanted to see, I chuckled here and there. I appreciated the action sequences here and there, but I wasn't really all in. And you're probably going to have, she's probably going to have a totally different feeling than from what I'm about to tell you right now. So, and that's fine. We differ in opinion sometimes. So, I was entertained, but I kind of wasn't really invested because of how crazy everything was, and I was just kind of like, oh, who's this fucking character? Who is this bounty hunter chick now?
Yeah.
Who is this? They had a pass.
Yeah.
Okay. Do we have time for this right now?
Yeah.
So, like I said, I'm entertained. What I'm watching, it's fun. It's fine. But I'm not really like, I just want to see where it goes and how they end this movie, right? And then we get to the duel. Beautifully shot. Fire choreography a lot better. I love the waves and all that. It just really, it's you know, one of the most outstanding parts of the film.
Something magnificent happened in this duel.
In the what?
Magnificent happened during this duel.
Oh, yeah, we're going to get to that.
Yeah.
So, before the magnificent thing happened, earlier in the movie, when Rey was trying to grab the ship because she thinks Chewie's in there. She's using her force powers to hold the ship, and Kylo's on the other side of that. And then she accidentally unleashes the Emperor Lightning, basically, and blows up the ship. Everyone freaks out. For 1 second there, my jaw dropped. But for 1 second there, half of me was like, oh, that's some bullshit. They're going to kill Chewie, like my boy Chewie like that, right?
Yeah.
But the other half of me was like, yes, thank you, movie.
Yeah.
Because Rey's not a fucking Mary Sue anymore. She finally failed.
Yeah.
She finally failed, and now she, all the heroes that we want to root for, get their fucking ass kicked or they fail, and now she can bring herself back up, redeem herself, come up from the ashes, and then we can fucking root for her, right? But no, it was a bait and switch, and Chewbacca wasn't in the ship. So I was like, oh, well.
Yeah.
I was happy at the same time. I didn't want Chewie to die that way. But thankfully, in this duel, she's outclassed.
She was.
She was outclassed.
She was about to get defeated.
It was like Kylo was like...
She was getting tired.
Yes.
She was getting frustrated. She was getting hurt. At one point, she's looking at her hand like, dude, what the fuck's going on?
And even Kylo was like looking at her like, you gonna do this all day, or you gonna join the dark side? You gonna come on now? I'm kind of holding back now at this point.
Yeah.
Right. And she was on the ground and scared. You know, she was like, oh shit,
exhausted.
And I was like, yay, movie!
Yeah.
Thank you. Give us something here. Have her be defeated so she can rise from the ashes.
Yeah.
And I was happy to see that. And then, right at that pivotal moment, before Kylo comes down for the final kill, his mother, Leia, uses the last of her essence to reach out to Ben and calls to him, which distracts him, and Rey goes for the final blow, killing him. And at first, I was kind of like, I don't know if I like Ben dying like that, or Kylo dying that way.
Yeah.
It seemed kind of too easy. I was like, or anticlimactic. But when, God damn it, keep in mind what I just said. Entertained, but not really invested, right? You're going to be different. You're going to be totally different, okay? When Leia died, she died, okay? And fucking Chewie fell to his knees. I was like, God damn you, movie. Fuck you, movie! God damn it! When he fell to his knees, and as soon as Finn, you look at Finn's eyes, he already immediate water, and he's just like, fuck. Who else is gonna fucking die around here, right? Poe is looking frustrated. Chewie fell to his knees. I'm like, okay, all right. And you know, I was just like, fuck. And then Rey comes and heals Kylo. They have that mutual respect, and I kind of like that line she says where, I would have joined you. I wanted to join you.
I would have taken Ben's hand.
But I wanted to join Ben.
Yeah.
And she leaves him. Really great scene right there. And then, something we weren't expecting. We saw the movie with your mother, my mother too. And she called something out. And at first we were kind of like...
No, she said he's still alive.
Yeah, she refuses to believe he died.
Yeah, she's...
And we were kind of like, oh, he's dead, he's not a Jedi,
no, she's one of those where, oh, you didn't see him die, so you can still bring him back to life.
He got impaled! Anyway, we were just like, but he's not a Jedi, right? But Harrison Ford comes back.
They pulled a BVS.
Oh my goodness.
They pulled a BVS where Kevin Costner came and talked to Superman.
Yes.
But...
Yeah.
Better. No, I like that. No,
that's actually
I like that scene.
That was a good
BVS.
scene in BVS.
I like that scene in BVS, but this is very unexpected.
And it was a mental...
You had a great scene between him and Ben, because he's Ben now, because he even says it. And he calls him Dad. Kylo is dead.
Yeah.
You are Ben. Kylo is dead.
And he calls him Dad.
And you had that scene mirroring what happened in Force Awakens right before he killed Han Solo, where he's like... You know what you have to do, and he said, I know what I have to do, but I don't think I have the strength to do it. And he touches his face, and he holds up the lightsaber, and he says, Dad, and what did he say? I know.
Yeah.
Instead of it's like, I see what you did there, you fuckers, fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you.
The rating I was going to originally give this movie, I don't know now.
That was one of those...
I'm thinking of more of the positives. My rating might go up by the end of this video.
You know, that was one of those moments where it's like...
Yeah.
Good job.
Thank you.
And then throws his old lightsaber into the ocean. And at that point, I was like, you know what?
Yeah, fuck.
I was mad. I was mad.
You're mad?
Because I had always liked... I know I'm in the minority here, but I really liked the concept of Kylo Ren.
Yeah.
I liked this concept of this Skywalker / Solo, because I know he's not a Skywalker, but he's of Skywalker lineage, and he's Leia and Han's son.
Right.
He was on his way to becoming a very powerful Jedi. He was fallen. What better way to, you know, have his story, but, you know, yeah, obviously he killed his dad, but what a great redemption story you could have for this guy. But when you've got this trilogy that's clearly about pushing Rey, that leaves you absolutely no room for a redemption arc where Ben Solo lives.
Right.
I knew what was going to happen to Ben.
Right.
And I really liked his character, and I liked him even more after that scene, and I got so mad because I'm like, you could still pull it off. You could still pull it off with him surviving this, but I knew they weren't going to do it.
I didn't like that he died.
And I was so mad. I was so mad because as soon as I saw him pop back up at the end when she goes to face the Emperor alone, I was like, God damn it.
Yeah.
You're gonna fucking do it. You're gonna fucking sack because the whole thing is that the Emperor wants he wants Rey to come to him and kill him out of anger so that his essence and all of the Sith can transfer into her, and she will now become Empress Palpatine.
Yeah, the opera choir that was in the back.
Right. And and that's the whole thing. You can't kill him because he'll just live in you, and then you'll become the new evil, and there's nothing you can do about
it. He's Jason Xing it.
And
not Jason X. Jason goes to hell.
Yeah, and she doesn't know it, but eventually she finds out that all of her friends are up top because they followed her to where he is, and they're all getting slaughtered. It's a lot like mirroring Return of the Jedi. And so she decides, okay, well, I want to save them. I'm going to have to kill you. And so what does that leave you with? Another sacrifice. So in comes Ben. But to their credit, to the writer's credit, they have this really great scene where she's about to kill him, but she knows that Ben is not too far away. Right. And
he's getting his ass kicked by the Knights of Ren. Yeah. Thankfully, thank God we finally see him. And they have obviously we didn't have time to get to know them.
Yeah.
But it was nice to see them, thank God.
They have this really great scene.
Some badass weapons, too.
They had this setup earlier where Rey ended up with 2 lightsabers. She has Luke and Leia's lightsaber. And so she she's about to kill Palpatine with 1 lightsaber. And instead of about to strike him, she puts it behind her back. And she gives it to Ben.
Yeah, it was dope.
Which was set up earlier, which I'm like, well done. And so now Ben's got his lightsaber, she's got the other lightsaber, and you got this really great fight, and it's a really great scene.
Good shit.
And so all of this is fine, all of this is plugging along just fine, and by the time it's all said and done, Rey ends up not really, she kills Palpatine, but in so much that she ends up with both lightsabers. He's throwing, okay, let me go back a couple of notches there. You have this thing, now I don't know Star Wars lore all that much, but they introduced this concept called a dyad, which is these 2 characters that are of one. So for some reason Rey and Ben are dyads, where I guess that's how they're connected through the Force and so powerfully. I can't explain it. If this is like a legitimate established Star Wars lore thing, I would love to know more about it.
Yeah, let us know in the comments.
I'm probably going to go Google it after this because it's fascinating to me if this is something that's established. But they're because I guess she's Palpatine's lineage, he's Vader's lineage. Maybe that's how they're so strongly connected. I don't know. But their Force essence combined, when Palpatine sucks out their Force essence, he starts regenerating. Yeah. So where at one point his hands got all fucked up from what had happened earlier, so like half of his fingers were gone, he was wrinkled, shriveled up, his eyes were white, his face was very smooth and gaunt, and by the time he sucks out a lot of their energy, his fingers regenerate, his hands go back to normal, his eyes turn yellow again, his skin looks the way he did when we last saw him, and his powers come back full force. He like shoots like this massive amount of lightning that we've never seen.
Almost takes down the whole army, rebel army by himself.
It's pretty impressive, all things considered. Yeah. And so he turns all of that onto Rey, and she ends up with the 2 lightsabers, and she like goes and fights him back, and it all like regurgitates on back onto him.
But all the previous Jedi, Yoda, everyone.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I heard Ewan McGregor in there. I might have heard Mace Windu in there. I might have.
Oh shit! Really?
I might have heard. I don't know if they threw in like Liam Neeson. I don't know if they threw in like a whole bunch of other people in there. But you hear like all these other voices in there because she's the last Jedi. Yeah. She's the last of the lineage. Yeah. And so that's what kills him. She doesn't strike him down. He technically kills himself, that's the loophole.
Right. I still think it was a little too easy.
Yeah.
To beat the Emperor that way.
But what happens is...
at least she kind of had help with the other Jedi.
What happens is it all drains her and she dies.
Right.
So what happens... In comes Ben, who got thrown out off of a cliff, but he survived.
Right.
And at this point, Ben is normal. Like, he's acting like a regular character. I almost cracked up for a split second. He, like, jumped onto this set of chains, and he goes, ow! And I'm like, oh, goddamn it, he's got a personality now. He's not frowny-faced Kylo Ren looking like he's about to cry or pout or something, you know? And so he like runs, like limps over to her and realizes that she's dead, and he's like holding her, and he like puts his hand on her and he regenerates her. He gives her all of his essence. Yeah. And it was the most hysterical thing. I don't know if you heard my mom say this.
I kind of heard.
Did you hear what she said?
I didn't hear. Okay, what did she say?
Okay, so one of the biggest things that the will they or won't they thing, I personally didn't want them to.
Yeah. I hate it.
I hate it. I hate it.
But go ahead.
So they're looking at each other, and at this point...
And I like the way they're looking at each other. At this point, like happy.
There should be just this mutual respect for each other. And they barely fucking know each other. She has more chemistry with Poe at this point. She's known Poe more than she really knows Ben
But I guess
Solo.
She's hot and he's nerd hot. So they gotta fuck.
So at this point, my mom to the right of me is saying, "Don't ruin it. Don't." Ruin it.
She said that.
She said that.
It's hilarious.
It's
hilarious.
Quick cut, smash face.
Oh,
They're
that's
snogging.
funny.
They're snogging, and I'm cringing, and my mom's like, "Oh, you ruined it."
Why? Why did they do that?
They're kissing, and there's like she's smiling after they stop kissing.
This kiss was just as bad as Rose and Finn.
It kind of ruined the whole thing.
It was just as bad. And I'm like, fuck.
And there's this second where you think, oh, they're fine, and then Ben slumps over dead.
Yeah, and I was like, wait a minute. Wait a minute.
And I'm like...
Smooches.
You know...
Oh, dead.
Yeah, and I'm like... I was
kind of like,
you know...
okay.
So... And I'm assuming what they're trying to what people who are going to defend this is what I'm going to go out on a limb, and people who are going to defend this are going to say, well, he is mirroring what Darth Vader did in Return of the Jedi. Where
we kind of expected that.
He did all this evil shit, and he killed his dad. Yeah. Fair enough. Yeah. He did all this terrible shit. He killed all these people. Yeah. Darth Vader couldn't have a happy ending. Why does his grandson deserve a happy ending? Well, at this point, all of the Skywalkers are fucking dead. Yeah. That's why. Yeah. Every one of them are dead. It would have been different maybe if if they had followed the books and Leia and Han maybe had the twins and had some more kids, or maybe if Luke had a kid or something
knows her
like
shit.
that. No, I've only read secondhand information. Yeah. I'm just saying it would have been different
to at least have one
if
left.
There had been other Skywalkers out there, but the whole lineage is now gone, and they only exist in Force Ghosts now. And so now we're only left with the offspring of Palpatine, who's now the last Jedi.
But she's Rey Skywalker now. She has took on the name Rise of Skywalker. Get it?
Which is like, it's anyway, kind of hollow.
Anyway,
I mean, some people are. I'm sure most people are probably totally cool with it.
Yeah.
I get it. I get what they were doing. Yeah. I get what they went for.
But you know, Vader didn't kiss anyone before he died. Vader didn't grab Luke and give him a noogie. Oh, Luke, yes. Wooga, wooga, wooga. But yeah, you know, it is what it is. It's there. You know what would have been dope? You know what would have been dope? Rey died and Ben lives. That would have been different. That would have been unexpected. But yeah, they both could have fucking lived.
Sometimes
when they showed them together, when were getting ready to both fight Palpatine, and they both lift up their lightsabers at the same time.
Yeah.
Hello.
Sometimes there's
that's some dope shit.
Sometimes there's something really
could have kept that going.
There's something really poignant about
someone has to die.
A character that has done truly awful and atrocious things and has to spend the rest of their life atoning and being forgiven for it. Right. I hate to show my nerddom, but there was a show back in the 90s called Xena Warrior Princess. Xena
that was my shit.
Xena was a warlord who did awful things, who eventually went on to have a child who was taken from her by the Romans of all things and was raised by the Romans, and her daughter did these awful things, eventually ended up killing one of Xena's best friends, and eventually she remembered who she was supposed to be, and she had to spend a long time atoning for that. And it was interesting watching her journey, trying to be a better person than what she had done in her past, and trying to forgive, like trying to gain forgiveness, but also trying to do better than what she had done. And seeing people, like having a character like that in the world, sometimes it's better than just another carbon copy of what his grandfather did. It's like, it's all well and good that you're trying to mirror what was done in the past. That's fine.
Especially with Palpatine showing Rey her, you know, all the rebels getting slaughtered.
Yeah, it was
just like Palpatine showing Luke.
It was exactly verbatim.
You know.
I mean, it was like, I get what you're trying to do. I understand that, and it's fine.
Homage?
It's fine, but it's like at the same time, sometimes it's more interesting to have a character. Like, how interesting would it have been for the rebels to now have Ben Solo and Ben trying to, you know, be like,
he should not have died.
I'm just saying, but it's like, I know
it. Maybe they would. Maybe the audience may have thought that it would have been a little bit too sweet if they both lived. What do you think?
Well, it wouldn't have been too sweet if they hadn't fucking kissed like that. That was truly awful.
That was really bad.
That was
really bad.
That was awkward and wrong.
Anyway,
and it should never have happened.
So, Leia death. Chewie to his knees, everybody freaking the fuck out. I'm feeling the feels. Fucking Han shows up. The eyes are. I need Visine.
Oh.
I need Visine.
Because someone was cutting onions on the road behind us.
Yes. And the hot dog.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, gotcha.
So.
Okay.
And then, you know, Luke shows up because Rey gave up after that, and she went to the island. She's like, fuck it, I'm just gonna do what Luke did. And Luke caught the lightsaber, and he admitted that he was wrong. And he had a great scene. It was a nice send off. You know, some fucking respect. You know what I'm saying? Some fucking respect to the legends, to the icons. You know what I'm saying? You know, and then more onions. The guy was just piling them on. You know, and then fucking Wedge shows up. Fucking Wedge!
Antilles, actually, old man Wedge showed up. I'm like, oh my god, it's Wedge.
Yeah.
I could not believe it. That was the cutest fucking thing ever.
Yeah. But what about Lando Calrissian, Colt 45?
What the fuck was with him and that young girl at the end of that?
Are we setting up? Are we set? I think he's just
Lando robs the cradle. This fall on Disney Plus.
I don't know my past.
I'll be a daddy, little girl.
Let's go find out.
What you go?
Colt 45?
Oh my god.
Anyway, They're probably setting up some future thing with her, the character that we kind of got a little bit of backstory. I thought it was interesting that she was kind of like Finn.
Yeah, that was fine.
That was interesting.
That was fine.
Yeah, I liked it. And there's more of them. There were more.
Yeah, that was...
They were like, fuck it.
That was fine. It seemed very underdeveloped, but it was probably a product of the reshoots and the cutting room floor, so that's fine.
Big, huge, gigantic, climactic battle at the end. It's huge. Huge. So it's you're either gonna be entertained or you're gonna have a headache. But I was fine with it. I thought I was entertained. But like I said, after all of that happened, I actually gave a shit, and I was actually invested, despite Rey kind of defeating Sidious a little bit too easily, and despite the fucking smooches, and then Ben dying. I thought it's probably as good as it was gonna get. I think. So well, scene I did like, and I was like, I turned to her, I was like, holy shit! Was we finally get to see fucking Leia train?
Yeah.
That was dope.
Yeah.
You know, how did she go from nothing, and then I'm flying in space with the fucking, Mary Poppins flying around?
Yeah.
But it was dope seeing her and Luke training with lightsabers. And she actually gets the better of Luke. The CGI on young Luke looked okay, but the CGI on young Leia looked kind of bad.
It was dodgy. It was really fast. It was really, really fast.
She looked better in Rogue One.
It was fast.
Anyway, but I was so entertained that, holy shit, the movie's actually showing me something that I've wanted to see for a long time. Some... aspiration of it, if that makes any sense. I didn't mind the bad CGI face. I was just like, hey, that was really dope, man.
Yeah.
So that more positives here. But I just wish everything didn't feel... What really bogs the movie down for me, despite all the positives I just said, was I wish it didn't... Just the pacing of the film, and you could just totally feel, and you could feel it, and you could totally tell that we're just trying to... and do the best that we can to kind of make a cohesive story that people can understand and end it on a high note. So like I said, we don't know how much was cut, how much was, maybe there'll be an extended version.
They've yet to do an extended.
That'd be interesting.
They've yet to release an extended Star Wars film. Yeah. They don't do that. So this now marks the end.
Lando Calrissian, I'm sorry. It was great to see Lando for a little bit. We went straight to the Colt 45. Forgot to talk about his character. It was cool to see him.
It's very short.
But yeah, he was short.
So this now marks the end of this trilogy, obviously.
Yes. I'm happy it's over.
It's time
to take a break.
It's been a very odd experience.
Yeah.
I think the biggest mistake that Disney made was jumping in without a solid game plan and trying to bang these out every 2 years. I know everybody's impatient now. I know everybody wants everything
Disney
like
Plus,
now.
Disney Plus.
And the thing, you can love or hate the prequels. I personally don't enjoy the prequels, but
they have their moments.
They had, and again, I've said this before, and this is the only way I will ever defend the prequels. They had a cohesion to them.
They did.
Only in so much that one man, for better or for worse, wrote a story in 1, 2, and 3, and he connected the dots for all 3 films.
Right.
And then he directed all 3 films. Now, does that make them good films? To me, no.
No.
It does not. But you go and watch episode 4, 5, and 6, for the most part, those movies are fairly well connected, even though you can tell they're different directors.
Right.
But there is still a solid driving force behind them, even though you watch episode 4, it could easily be a standalone film with the exception of the Empire still existing, with the exception of Darth Vader not dying. With all of that said and done, you could still just keep it at Star Wars and it could never have done anything else, and you could still be happy with that film. And then in Empire, obviously, all of a sudden, Darth Vader is Luke Skywalker's dad. And then all of a sudden, in Return of the Jedi, Leia and Luke are siblings. Obviously, tweaks were made. Okay, obviously, things were done along the way to retcon little things with the whole line of, Obi-Wan Kenobi, why did you lie to me and say that Darth Vader betrayed and murdered my father? Well, in a way, it was from a certain point of view, blah, 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 because you didn't plan it out ahead of time. But, you know, for the most part, there was a certain amount of cohesion to that first trilogy. There was more cohesion.
Which is still the best.
Yes.
The original trilogy is still the best. I don't care.
But
I don't care if I sound old. Fuck you.
This film, these three films are officially, in my mind, the least cohesive of the three trilogies now. And I really hope that if Disney ever wants to make another trilogy, they learn from this. Because if nothing else, if you're going to make a trilogy, you need to have a cohesiveness to it. You need to have a better game plan than, oh, well, let's just throw this out there and see what sticks, and maybe we'll, you know, the days of making a film and seeing if it does well and then maybe making a trilogy that may or may not be connected, those are long dead and gone. You don't make movies like that anymore. You make movies specifically to make trilogies out of them, if not more films. So the fact that they went into this with blinders on and having no solid plan for episodes 8 and 9, it's staggering to me that they let this happen and that they had to retcon everything at the 11th hour like this. Like, I mean, this movie, it could have been so much worse.
It could have been.
It really could have been so much worse.
The dumpster fire that we were expecting.
We really were.
We heard some,
and we don't know how bad it was before the reshoots.
We heard some damn hilarious rumors. They were hilarious.
We really don't know how bad it was before the reshoots. We don't know. And well, we may never know unless some early scripts leak out there and you know, we check it out someday. We don't know how bad it potentially could have been. But
at the end of the day, were you entertained?
I would have to say, like, from just this single film standpoint, yes. But
obviously could be better, but you can say that about a lot of movies.
But I can honestly tell you, this trilogy, I have very little reason to rewatch.
Yeah.
I will say this.
It's like,
I have as
it
little
would be
reason,
only for like a marathon purpose.
I have as little reason to rewatch this trilogy as I do the prequel trilogy.
That's right.
Like, I can go back and rewatch the original trilogy.
Yes.
Especially, I can go rewatch Empire Strikes Back now.
But now's the time. Oh yeah. Now's the time to take a break. Right?
Yes.
Now's the time to take a break. And now's the time to learn from The Mandalorian.
Focus on your TV shows.
Now, The Mandalorian is not a perfect show. All right? But it feels like a breath of fresh air in the Star Wars universe. And it proves, we really entertained by it. And it proves that this shit can be done, that you can create original characters, you can create new storylines within the Star Wars universe. The Star Wars universe is so huge and vast and big. It doesn't always have to be about the Skywalkers, okay? We want to see new Jedi. We want to see new Siths. We want to see new aliens, new bounty hunters, new, we want to see new. And Mandalorian, I think, is a good step in that direction to show, hey, this can work. That's why I'm excited for this Obi-Wan Kenobi TV show. Even though Ewan McGregor coming back.
Even though technically you're going back to the original concept, but Ewan McGregor was arguably one of the best things that came out of the prequels.
He was one of the best things in the prequels, of course.
So it's like, yeah, why not?
But with a series, it could be done well. You can take your time. You don't have to... Okay? You take your time, you can have the character development, you can have his adventures, you can have his fucking rematch with Darth Maul that everybody wants to see. You can do all that. You can do whatever you want.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. The Star Wars universe is so vast, and sometimes movies limit you. They limit your creativity sometimes when you're just like, well, all right, we only have an hour and 30 or 2 hours. We got to cram it in. And this movie's a perfect example of cramming it in.
This trilogy, if you really stop and think the wasted potential of this trilogy, because what was the prequel trilogy? What was that trilogy about? it was about the fall of Anakin Skywalker.
Right.
And what was the new trilogy about? It was about Luke Skywalker and bringing back what was left of Anakin, like redeeming Anakin. But it was about Luke, redeeming, helping to redeem his father. This trilogy, if we had known about Rey in the first place, this trilogy could conceivably have been about will she or won't she. But because we had no plans, we fucked all of that up.
Yeah.
And now it was literally at the last minute.
Right.
We dicked around for 2 movies, and now this last one was, oh, will she or won't she?
Yeah. Turn to the dark side and be Sith Rey.
Even though it started in the last movie, but we didn't know what the stakes were in the last movie.
We didn't
know. So it was like,
it's
such poor planning.
Yes.
For this, on this whole trilogy. So it was like,
well, like you said, hopefully they can learn from it. We got to wrap it up.
Yeah.
Camera's about to die. Sorry.
Yeah.
So, again, remember, on our channel, 3 is average. 3 out of 5 is an average film. Okay? Looking back at Force Awakens, we rated that movie way too high. And we might do a re-review or films revisited with that.
Yeah.
Way too high. I think we gave Force Awakens a 4.5.
Yeah, it's pretty high.
That's way too high.
Yeah.
Even though we thought it was an entertaining movie. Last Jedi, what would you give that?
I would give The Last Jedi... Oh, I would...
No, go ahead.
Which one?
Force Awakens, really quick.
Really, Force Awakens, I would redo that at a 3.5.
Okay, 3.5, right? Above average.
Yeah.
Last Jedi.
Last Jedi, 2.9.
2.9, right?
Yeah.
And now, what do you rate this movie?
Right now...
So Last Jedi below average. 2.9.
There was too much that I hated.
Okay, go.
There's too much that I hated.
Okay, go.
This one, at right now, fresh in my mind.
Yes.
3.6.
3.6, okay.
Fresh in my mind.
So I originally was going to give this a 3.5 because I did think it was entertaining, and it is an above average movie, for the type of movie it is, a popcorn flick. But reminiscing again, going over the third act with Leia dying and everything above that, despite the bullshit kiss and all that shit, I'm gonna bump it up 3.9.
Okay.
3.9. So there you go. We didn't hate it, guys. We hate parts of it.
Yeah.
We hate parts of it.
Yeah.
I'm sure a lot of people probably thought we were going to give this movie 0 stars.
I thought I was too.
Yeah.
I was expecting a train wreck.
Yeah.
I really was.
Fire.
I was expecting Dark Fate, Hellboy, dumpster fire shit. I really was.
Yeah. But there's a lot of people out there that really loved the movie and really enjoyed the film, and they really loved it. And I think that's great. And I think a 3.9 is fair. I think that's almost a 4. That's almost a 4. But it was just so messy. But the third act did kind of, the member berries came out. And the guy kept putting onions on his hot dog behind me. All right. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. All right, we got to wrap it up. Let us know in the comments below what you guys thought of Star Wars Rise of the Skywalker.
The Rise of Skywalker.
Whatever the fuck. And let us know. Should they say, fuck it, let's go on to do another trilogy right away?
No.
I'm asking them.
No.
Let us know, or just let's take a break, concentrate on TV shows, and then come back with a bang, and we'll all be back in the theater again to represent the glowy sticks, because we love them. All right, man. Thanks for watching. You guys fucking rock. We'll see you guys next time. Colt 45.